So I want to show you how to properly dimension cylindrical and circular features. So I want to start with the front view of this object. I'm going to place it and move it up to the top corner. And instead of a traditional projected view, I want to do an aligned section view. And then go through a couple of housekeeping tasks. I'm going to remove the labels, remove the vertical and horizontal axis. I'm going to update the properties to make sure that my front view has hidden lines and both views have center lines and axes. And I do like to leave the label for the section view because it maps back to the cut line, the cutting plane line. But we don't need the label to show the scale because I'll update the scale in the title block for all of the views. Next, I want to add an isometric view. Ensure that when you select your isometric view that you have it oriented properly because it does not automatically orient your isometric view. And then update the properties to make sure that you have it in the scale that matches your views or half the size of your scale for your other views. So in this case, I'm going to do half scale so that it matches my other views. And then remove the label. So now that I have my view set, the next thing I'm going to do is start dimensioning. So with the additive cylinders, I want to use the dimension that has the diameter symbol on it, and I'll place that value first. And then I'll add dimensions for the circles that are holes on the circular face. Again, with the same diameter dimension line, but instead of it showing up across for the whole length, it'll be a leader line. Next, I need to add dimensions for the height values. So this one's going to be a traditional length dimension. I'm going to use that for the depth of the hole as well as the overall height of the part. And then finally, I'm going to add the radius value. But first, I'm going to update the units. And now I'm going to add my radius value. Making sure I update the units on that one because I did it a little out of order. And now I want to select both my diameters that are for the holes that are cut out and my radius for the fillet and update the properties on those to make sure that I'm showing it as a two-part leader line. And then for the circular hole cutouts, I need to make sure that those are only showing with one symbol, not two symbols. So if I go back into properties, I can deselect symbol 2. And then for some reason it moves them, so I'll just move them back to where they were. And now from here, the one that has multiples, I want to edit the text to show that there's 3 of them. So if you haven't already updated the settings to allow the manipulation, go underneath options, and then underneath mechanical design, drafting, there's a set of options for manipulations, and that's going to allow us to turn on the insert text. And then wherever you have the little red drop down, you can click and it'll allow you to add a text annotation before that. So 3 times diameter of 10 shows that there's 3 holes with that diameter, so I don't have to say it 3 times. Same thing with our fillet. We have 2 of them. So let's click into the radius and change that to 2 times radius 5. And that brings us to a completed drawing for our cylindrical part.